It's March the something. I haven't looked. The 5th or the 6th? I think it's the 6th, it's Thursday. And as you can see, it's another beautiful day. It's about 10:30. And I finally, hold on, finally come out of that fug, whatever it was. Yeah, it's now Thursday. It's taken days to feel relatively normal, and but there isn't. I suppose it's adapting to the new normal. Slept well. Mark slept well. We've not slept well for a couple of nights, so last night we both slept well, which is good. I've got art today. We've got art today, and I have been planning and preparing for another collage, but a landscape, or paysage as they call it in France. So I had cut out quite a lot of bits, pieces that would make sky, and I've just started to put some of the sky down on my big piece of cardboard. And I'll take that with me, and I'm going to sit and cut more and look through magazines. Very restful, and that's all I feel like doing. I have got something I printed off, a picture that I wanted to do in pastels, but I'll eventually get back to that. But at the moment, I'm just enjoying cutting out, which is something we probably learn as kids. And as I was doing that this morning, I was remembering that I was going to hold up my right hand and say to you, I'm left-handed. I'm left-handed, but I'm ambidextrous. So we've always referred to me as left-handed because I write with my left hand, and there's quite a few things I do with my left hand. But I also do things with my right hand. But I don't know whether it's something that I adapted or whether I just automatically did it. But I use right-handed scissors. And a couple of weeks back, Claire said to me, oh, do you want some scissors that will be better for you because you're left-handed? And I couldn't explain to her in French that I've been using, right-handed scissors for 67 years. So yeah. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. And I just wanted to, a couple of things. Somebody commented, gave a big piece of disinformation in comments. Lorraine, somebody, suggesting that Zelensky keeps all the money, lives in luxury hotels, sends children into the war, and sells the arms for money. And I just thought, oh my God, oh my fucking God, you're listening to disinformation, picking up and spreading disinformation, and believing what you're told by Trump, or Trump has told this lie. So you'll believe a liar over a real person. It's shocking, and it sounded just like something from Fox News. Now, I don't watch Fox News. Thank the dog. I don't watch Fox News, but this is how it sounded to me. This complete and utter lie, but said as if it were real. She really believed what she was saying, and it was like, oh my God. If that were the case, let's look at the reality. If that were the case, then the Ukraine would not still be standing and still be Ukraine. It would be Russia. Because if he used all the money and sold all the arms and lived in luxury hotels, then Ukraine wouldn't still be standing. Let's be real. Oh, yeah. Who knew that was coming? I wanted to talk about, and I haven't fully formulated, so it will come out how it comes out. And I meant to do this with Mark, actually, because he'll remember bits that I don't remember. But several years ago, we were in Norfolk when my son lived in Norfolk, and we'd been to stay with them, and we'd flown into Stansted, which is the is close to London, and close to Norfolk, and we thought how ideal that would be. Fly in, hire a car, and not have to travel all the way up to the channel and then across and then drive up. We'll fly to Stansted, hire a car. So that's what we did. It actually was a longer process than we had anticipated. Anyway, we visited Phil, and as we were driving back, it was a very, very wet day, very wet, horrible day. We were tired, Mark was tired, and we reached a point of him being so tired that I said, okay, pull over, I'll drive. So he pulled over really quickly into a lay-by full of puddles, and the front wheel went down into a very deep pothole, and we burst the tyre. So we rung for a breakdown service, and we were told how long it would be, and it meant me ringing Ryanair saying we're not going to make our flight. They didn't give a shit, comme d'habitude. And we were picked up by a breakdown truck and driven to Mildenhall. And as we were driving towards the tyre depot, which actually backed on to the airbase, Mildenhall Airbase, US Airbase, he talked to us about how it is on the airbase and how it's everything that you could possibly want on there if you were an American is on that airbase. So you don't need to leave that airbase to be able to play golf, to go shopping, to get your normal food stuffs that you're used to. Everything that you could possibly want is on the airbase. So it's a sort of bubble. So Mildenhall is a town, but the airbase is like a town in a town. And I don't know whether you remember, but several years ago, a woman drove off the airbase and ran over, I think his name was Harry Dunn, and killed him. And some of the extenuating circumstances, might be the wrong word, were that she'd been driving on the right through the airbase, around the airbase, and hadn't switched to driving on the left. If that's the right way round, I always get it the wrong way round. That was one of the circumstances that this happened. So it's like the American people, when they go to war or in peacetime, obviously, and they're on this airbase, they live in America but in the UK, so they don't actually go out and experience real UK. I'm not saying all of them, but most of them don't need to, and they probably don't. They don't go out and experience real UK. They have this view, they get their own newspapers, they get newspapers from America. I know that when they were in Afghanistan at Camp Bastion, they were receiving their own water, their own newspapers, their own food. They had a McDonald's there. My son was there in Afghanistan in Camp Bastion, which is why I know this, and I'm sure that he was supplied with stuff that was familiar to him. But yes, so they live in a bubble, and I get a sense that the bubble, they take the bubble with them everywhere. So when you come back to America and Washington DC and the Trump regime, they're in a bubble, and they don't really know as much as they think they know about abroad. I'm using abroad as a term because I get a sense that they don't really know international stuff particularly well, because wherever they've been, I think I was thinking about this because I was thinking about J.D. Vance, and that he had I think it was Afghanistan he went to. I can't remember whether it was Afghanistan or Iran, and was a journalist in Afghanistan or whatever. And I'm thinking, it's very possible, very, very possible that he lived in a bubble out there. So he wasn't exposed to the real front line, to the real Afghanistan, to the real Iran, if that's where he was, Iraq. He wasn't exposed to that. He's protected by the American bubble. So when he is so rude to President Zelensky dismissing. Oh no, he was dismissive, wasn't he, of the UK fighting a war, British fighting a war. So dismissive of that. Like, he knows nothing. He really hasn't experienced anything, and yet he pontificates about how it was for British people, soldiers, fighting in a war and dying in a war. And I quite often get Americans coming onto my vlog saying, referring to somebody said, I've deleted it, somebody said, oh, have they found any forward gears in French tanks yet? Which is really, I've said it before, it's really completely misunderstanding how it was and how the French fought the war here. The Americans were called in, and thankfully they were called in. Thank you, America. Late in the war, everybody else was bloody exhausted, and you all came in with your new pants on. Remember that. You came in with good food, healthy, new, good clothing. Whereas where you joined up with people who'd been fighting for years and were exhausted. Don't forget that. So yeah, Mildenhall, a town within a town and a bubble. The other thing that we were talking to friends about many years ago. They worked in the diplomatic service. They talked about how they had understood from people that they had spoken to in various places um, abroad that when Americans are looking for intel, they pay locals to bring intel back to them. Well, you can imagine where this is going, can't you? So they pay locals to bring intel back to them. Of course, the locals just bring anything back because they're earning money from it. So it's like it's completely not a great system. It's like, if you're in the intelligence, you need to go and find that intelligence yourself, not pay someone else to find that for you. Because, like in any walk of life, that person's going to bring you back what they want you to see. Oh, we're experiencing that, aren't we, on Twitter and on Blue Sky and on Facebook and on YouTube. People see what they want to see and tell you what they want to tell you, believe what they want to believe, watch Fox News and believe it's true. Um, so yeah, if you're paying someone else to pick up intel for you, then you're going to get what they want you to have, not what maybe you should have. Um, but you're paying for it. So I just wanted to talk about those things because I remembered them in this debacle on Friday. It reminded me gradually over the weekend. It reminded me of this whole fucked up system. Fucked up system. Unbelievable. I keep waking up hoping that I have good news. Waking up hoping that something catastrophic has happened to the orange sack of poison overnight, but sadly that doesn't happen. But I live in hope, and I can't say the words that I want to say about that. Yeah, I have to be a bit careful, but you know what I mean. I keep waking up hoping for that. We can all hope for that, and I know that that will create a massive problem and probably a civil war and God knows what. But you might stop being Russian because that's what's happened. He is. There's lots of talk which I haven't really read into, that he is a Russian agent, and I just thought, nah, he's not intelligent enough to have carried that with him for, they saying from the 90s, I think. I'm not sure if it was from the 80s or the 90s that he was recruited. I can't imagine him having the ability. You know what he's like? He's a bragger. I can't imagine him having that, being able to hold that information and keep it quiet. But the more I read, the more I see, and I haven't read it thoroughly, I'm beginning to believe it, that he's working for Russia. Really need to pay attention to that. You people that tell me about Zelensky selling arms to make money and living in luxury, have a look at the Russian agent that's sitting in the White House. Check that out for me. And please stop watching Fox News. They tell you that it's the intel. They tell you what they want you to believe, not reality. It's a bubble. Okay, so I'm going back in now to finish my coffee. And yeah, going back to finish my coffee. And that's it for today. I'll probably come out here later and read. That's what I got burnt yesterday. I came out here. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I came out and I knew immediately. It was like, oh my God, this is too hot. And I managed half an hour. And, I could see that I knew that I was catching the sun. So the cat, hold on a minute. Where is she? There she is. Oh, hold on. Loads of molehills. She loves molehills. In fact, if she finds the hole, she puts her foot down it. What are you doing? Psst, psst. What are you doing? Huh? Okay, thanks for watching.